What's up, guys and gals? I haven't recorded anything in a while because I've been busy playing Lost Ark. Now, I kind of wanted to give like a rundown on how good this game is. Things that I enjoy about it, things that I don't, and kind of give you the perspective on this game here. So, first and foremost, what I do really enjoy about the game is how crisp combat is. Right now, you're watching me play the Deadeye, I believe, or Marksman, I think it is. And the thing that really, for me, has helped for me to enjoy this game is that, what's this? Okay. Is the combat. It plays really well. It's crisp, it's clean, the combos really work well together. You can gather up a bunch of enemies and just AoE them down real fucking fast. It's solid. Combat is fucking solid. And for me, that's a big one. The next thing I really enjoy about it is some of the quest lines are a little unique, right? Like, you just saw there, I picked up, a bit of cargo and I brought it to this little settlement here. Those quests are, you run to those a lot, right? So instead of like the go fetch this quest and you bring it back to your quest giver, you actually go and get the thing and pick it up and move it to wherever the fuck it needs to be, which is kind of an interesting concept on, the fetch quest and stuff. The dungeons are pretty fun. Like, there's 2 different difficulties of dungeons, and you can run pretty much any of the dungeons you come across all the way to 50 by yourself. And my suggestion would be is to run them on hard. It's really not that hard. There's more monsters, they're spongier, and there winds up being, with the bosses in the dungeons, more mechanics to the fight. But you get rewarded better. Now, I kind of also want to touch on some of the things that I don't like about the game. And one of those being some of the quests. As an example, you'll have some quests that'll be like, let's say this guy here is giving you the quest, right? And okay, go talk to him, accept it, and he'll have you go over and talk to this person, right? And usually in MMORPGs, you talk to this person, and then you go off and they do whatever quest it is they want you to do, right? But in this game, because of such a short amount of text sometimes for some of the characters that you run into for quests, you'll wind up talking to this quest giver, and he'll literally make you walk back over and talk to this quest giver again, and then you'll get another quest from this guy to go over and talk to this guy again, and then you go back over here and complete the quest. Like, there needs to be some more, how do I say this, better ways of handling the questing system, because some of the quests are just like, go here, go there, and talk between these, 2 or 3 people, or whatever, when it can be condensed down to, talk to this guy, okay, talk to that guy, okay, do the quest. You know what I mean? Rather than talk to this guy, talk to that guy, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, talk to this guy, talk to that guy, end of quest. Like, that is a super fucking shitty way of, like, questing. It's like a lazy fucking, like, thing. It's just like a time waster, right? And another, like, issue I kind of have is a part of the combat, right? So, as an example, and I'll talk about these things and then I'll do a little combat and do these quests, and then I'll wind up probably having a quest that takes me to this dungeon over here called Maze of Mirrors. But another thing I don't like about combat is that you've got a dash, right? And if you see here, it's on a fucking cooldown. Now, if you get knocked down while this is on cooldown, you can't get back up. I repeat, if you get knocked down while your dash is on cooldown, you do not get back up. Okay? Because it's the same thing. So if you wind up having to get up, you'll see that your dash gets on a cooldown, and if you have to run from enemies, like if they knock you down, they're already on top of you and swarming you. And you cannot, like, with the NPCs of the game, you can walk through them. But with the enemies of the game, you cannot. They actually take up space. So, like, if you don't have your dash and you're surrounded, they're just gonna sit there and bumfuck you until you fucking die. Or until you do, like, an AoE move that does damage, or freezes them, or stuns them, or shit like that, right? And I don't like that. Like, it's the same way that you can deal with enemies in this game, right? Is like, you can just combo a bunch of shit and they can't move. So I understand why it's there. You know, it's to add like a little deeper level of like micromanagement to your dash and shit like that, right? Because if like you're using your dash to round stuff up so you're not taking extra damage, if the boss hits you and you get knocked down, all of a sudden everything you've been rounding up, boom, it just jumps on you and butt fucks you to death. And like that's happened to me a couple times in dungeons, and it's not a super fun experience, right? Because it's like there's literally nothing you can do, and in the time that you're fucking in a hard dungeon, at least, in the time that your cooldown's cooling down for your dash, they can literally 100 to 0 you. So getting juggled by the enemies of the game is not a fun fucking experience. It's like playing fucking Mortal Kombat on the hardest difficulty, and with the hardest difficulty, the enemy PC, computer controlled characters juggle you till you die 100% of the time, right? It's just like a kind of stupid mechanic that they put into the game. It is what it is. Because you can juggle your enemies infinitely until they die too. But yeah, so that's basically what I enjoy about the game and dislike about the game so far. And there's other things that I dislike about it, like there is a ton, and I mean an absolute ton, of like collectibles and like stuff like that will literally affect your character and stuff. So it feels very like overloaded as a game. However, all of the systems work really well.
Finally arrived.
But the problem that I kind of feel like this game is going to have is that,
I'll only get in your way.
It's a free-to-play game. It's got a store, and the problem with that is that, with all of these different, systems in place and stuff, it opens up a lot of like gotcha gaming, right? Where it's like, oh, if you don't have the Crystalline Aura in effect, which is a paid-for thing, or if you, I don't know if this is if you can subscribe or not, but it's like a paid-for thing, and it's like $20 or whatever, and it lasts 30 days. But it gives you a bunch of bonuses and stuff, like provides the following benefits while you're in game: Triport fee is free, Ocean Liner is 50% off, daily report action tries is 1 more, life energy and natural recovery is 10% extra, usable Bifrost slots, I don't know what the fuck that is, Song of Return cooldown is reduced by 50%, Stronghold research time is reduced by 10%, so like you get some actual benefits, right, for having it, So there's that, but there's also like a lot of other things that are in the store that I don't necessarily like agree with, you know, for like a free to play game because they're very like you can tell it was made to make money. You know what I mean? And not in the sense of like by a subscription model, but like nickel and dime you to fucking death. However, do understand that all of those things are generally cosmetic things and not anything that can realistically like boost you that much. Um, but that's not to say that into the future, because this is an Amazon published game, that the possibility might be there that it will be a money grab. Just like a lot of some of those older games that went free to play, they wound up just like hamstringing the game as a whole. One of the famous ones for me is Star Wars: The Old Republic, right? And or Knights of the Old Republic, whatever, SOTAR. And I played the shit out of that game. And it went free to play, right? And I used to be a subscribing member. Well, when it went free to play, I had none of the benefits I had having subscribed for years, right? I wasn't able to use a lot of the end game items I had and shit because they were locked behind a fucking paywall. Now, I'm not saying necessarily that this is what's going to happen with this game, but if they start to see a slide in finances and stuff like that, it's a very possible thing that like they add items into the fucking store that adversely affect the gameplay for newcomers to the game, right? Where it will literally give people an edge over others. The possibility is always there with free games. And the thing is like, again, major redeeming quality for me of this game is how crisp the combat feels. So, I'm actually thinking I'm gonna stop this here, because it sounded more like a little rant and stuff. But, when I get over to the dungeon quest and stuff, I'll record another video, and yeah. So I just hopped on. I've been playing for a couple hours. I was like, shit, I should probably record a video, and there we go. So you guys have a great night, and I hope to have you guys back around sometime, and like and subscribe. I know it's such a small channel, but I can definitely use your guys' help. So growing the channel and stuff, and hopefully to make better content. Right now, I know that it's unedited, primarily because I don't know how to edit it, but you know, given more time, if this really starts to take off and stuff, who knows? You know, hire an editor and they'll edit my videos. I don't have the personal time or liberty of time to edit these videos because, you know, I work full time as a trader and stuff, and I can't devote, you know, another 8 hours a day to learn how to do it and then, you know, trade at the same time. It's just, it's too impossible. So, you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you all again later.